In 10 minutes my VSc was completed. After that I had my interview at 11 a.m. So I had a almost 2 hours gap. So I went to the Consulate, that is different building. Again I was confused and I was not able to find the Consulate. It is hardly 1 or 2 kilometers distance from VSc center to the interview building. So I went there I reached the Consulate by 9:30 a.m. But at 10:15 I went to the security check, that is on the starting of the building. 10 to 12 students were there ahead of me. I was at the 13th or 14th place. I stood in the queue outside the building. I can say it's the footpath, and on footpath only they have created the mark. They allow people to stand there. At around 10:40 queue started getting ahead. My turn came and the security person at the entrance of the building asked me for my passport, only passport. I showed him the passport. He checked my slip that is behind the passport that I got from VSc. He ticked it, and then he entered the some number in his iPad, and then I went inside. It is guided everywhere that from which path you have to enter inside. After entering the main building, there is one huge open space. There are defined seats. Students were sitting there already. She checked my appointment. She told me to sit at a defined place. So there were around 2 long queues in front of me of 15 students that went, like I saw them going inside and coming out. I don't know why I was made to sit in a different queue, and in my queue only 4 students were there. I don't know whether because I went through emergency appointment or some other reason, I don't know. In my left side one girl was sitting. I asked her whether is your do you have a normal appointment or emergency appointment. Even she was emergency appointment. From there she was asking students to go to the inside area where the interviews were happening. In front of me there were glasses, and behind that there was one big hall in which interviews were happening. So I could see students going for the interview. After 20 or 30 minutes, at around 11:05, 11:10, my name was I was told to get inside that room. Before going to the room, the girl who was assigning the place in that open area, she asked me whether I have my photograph or not. So I was not aware that we have to carry the photograph, because generally it is said that our photographs will be captured there itself. So she asked me whether I had a photograph. So I told that I don't have the visa format photograph, but I took from safe side, I took passport size photograph with me. So I just told her that I have passport size photograph, I don't have that visa photograph. Then I asked that, I was afraid at that time, because I thought that my interview is gone now, because I was not expecting I did a lot of research and everything, that what document should I take and what document should I not take. Nowhere it was mentioned that I have to take my photograph, and I didn't bring it. I bought so many of documents, but I didn't had that visa format photograph. So I thought that now all my research, all my hard work is gone now. They will tell me that bring your photograph and then only we'll take your interview. So then I asked her that is it really required, is it mandatory? Then she said no, don't worry, it is not mandatory, but sometimes here in the system we have so many glitches happening. So for safe side, it will not take much of your time, so it will directly proceed you to the interview. So I thought okay. Then I went inside the interview room where the actual interviews were happening. There were 10 to 12 counters and only 4 were operational. At the time I went there, only 4 counters were having interviews. There were 2 other counters at the end, towards the end. So I was told to go to those 2 counters. So there was one girl, Indian girl, sitting there in her early 20s. I thought that whether she'll be taking my interview. I was question, because I never heard in any of the groups or any of the videos that some girl is taking, some Indian girl is a visa officer. So I thought might be, I don't know, I was skeptical about it. After that there were 3 chairs in front of the window, and 3 people were sitting there. After that, as the queue was proceeding, I was made to sit on the chair, and gradually I moved to the second chair, then to the first chair, and then she called me that you can come here. So I went to the other counter. So she told me, like, out of those 2 counters, in one counter there was a white board. I couldn't see who is sitting at the counter there, like who is standing or sitting, because there was a white board. I think so that white board was to capture the photograph, what the girl outside was telling me. So the counter beside it, the girl sitting there called me. She told me that she asked for my passport. I gave her my passport, and then she asked me whether you have your photograph with you. So I told, yes, I have my passport size photograph with me. I gave that photograph to her, and then she asked me how old it is. So I told that it is 15 days old. Actually, I got that passport size photograph for my university, because they asked me for my orientation and ID card and everything. So for that, I took that passport size photograph. I handed over my photograph to her. It took 10 minutes. She was discussing something inside with her team. Then she told me that yes, this photograph, she was discussing inside something that your teeth are showing, your teeth are visible, your ears are not visible, something she was talking about, and your hair, something she was discussing inside, because I could hear from the speaker there. And during this time, I just observed what all mechanics are there. If I'm facing like this to the visa officer, there is a glass, and there is a slide through space through which we pass the documents, and on the right side there is a speaker, we can hear the visa officer from there. And above us there is a mic. I think so that is a mic, it is surrounded by a closed, some closed thing to capture our voice maybe. So there is a mic, and whether be it left side or right side, there is a scanner. So after 10 minutes she came to me. She told that okay, this photo will work, and she gave me the passport. She told me you can join the line for the interview. I went and joined the line for the interview. There they were assigning the chairs to everyone, and then there I saw the famous American bald guy, the guy who is very famous in approving visas at Mumbai Consulate. I just checked all 4 windows while walking through the line, and I saw, yeah, he is the one. And then standing there, I observed that how does he take the interview actually? Why is he so famous? And he is famous because he does that thing, dude. He approved 4 people visa in 1 minute. I saw him within 15 seconds. He was people were coming there, and he asked only 2 questions. Your visa is approved. Okay, thank you, sir. Students went. Then the other came. In 1 minute, 4 students were approved. I was shocked. Look at the speed of this guy. How quickly he's making the decisions. That is what we need. But then I prayed. Actually, I prayed that I wanted to go to that counter, because I don't want to survive more than 30 seconds interview. I was the last one standing in the queue. It was only my turn to get into the interview chairs. But before that, he was at the counter number 33, I think so. He announced that assistance is required for counter number 33, and he went inside. Where did he go? I don't know. Then I thought, my chance is gone. Some other person will take my interview, and I don't know how it will go. Then my turn came again. The 3 chairs seating arrangement, I was at the 3rd, then 2nd, then 1st. Then my turn came for the interview. He was the American guy with blonde hair. He was in his late 20s, handsome guy. He called me. I was sitting on the chair. I was looking at the window, and the person before me, the student before me who got approved, he was still standing there, but he was just winding up his file and everything. Till in that moment only, it is you have to be attentive there. My tip is you have to be attentive to your window. You can't be okay, it's not my turn, I'll just listen here, I'll just listen there, I'll see here, I'll see there. don't do that, because I was looking at the visa officer, and the student in front of me didn't leave, but he just tilted like this and he told me, like he called me, you can come now. So I was, thank God I was attentive at that time, because otherwise it would have created a wrong impression that I'm just fooling around here and there. So as soon as he did this nod, I stood up at my place and I was waiting for the student to leave. As soon as he left, then I went there, I opened my file. So he told me hi. I didn't even say him hi actually. I was so nervous at that time, very nervous. Then he asked me, pass me your passport and I-20. So in my hand I had passport, I-20 and service receipt as well. So I just passed him and I was taking out the service receipt. From that side he caught hold of my documents, and from here I was pulling my service receipt. When I left, I thought, okay, no problem. If he'll see my service receipt, it is well and good. And like extra document he diya hai na, it is okay like this. So then he checked my passport, he saw my I-20 and started asking questions. My first question was, when did you undergraduate? My answer was in the year 2016. Next question, what are you doing since then? My answer was, I was working in supply chain firm for 3 years, and since past 2 years I am working in an automobile industry. His third question was, who will be your sponsor? My answer was, my father will be my primary sponsor. His fourth question was, what does your father do? My answer was, he is so and so in Indian Railways. He is in Indian Railways. Like in this, I fill in the blanks, whatever your father is, like position, and in the organization. He again asked me, sorry, what? So I replied loudly, my father is dash and dash in Indian Railways. So he told me, Indian Railways? I said, I nodded. Then he typed something in his computer. His next question was, what is his income? My answer was dash dash rupees per annum. His next question was, have you ever been outside India? I said yes. His next question was, what place? My answer was Thailand. He said Thailand. He typed something, and then he took out a slip, and then I saw he dropped my passport in his box. I thought my passport is gone. Now I'll be hearing the golden words. Then he took out that slip, and white slip, and he handed that white slip, my I-20 and my service receipt through the space, and he told me while passing the documents that your visa is approved. I said, thank you so much. And then I took the documents, put it in my file, and as I was like closing the zip of my file, he stood up from that place and he went. I was the last one, like behind me no one was there. I was the last one to be interviewed, like at that moment, and he went there. I just आराम से मैंने अपनी फाइल बंद की, because he was not there. So I was like, okay. And then I took I looked inside that how the situation is there behind, like what is behind the glasses and all. So I saw there are seating arrangements. It is like corporate office type seating arrangement behind the glass, where the visa officers are sitting. Behind that seating there is like all names were mentioned, and like it is a corporate setting. Then I winded up my documents. I took my file and I came outside the building. So this was my experience of visa interview. I was lucky enough that I had my biometrics and interview on the same day. So if you like my story of my visa getting approved, please do hit the like button and please subscribe my channel. See you in my next video. Bye. Take care.